brother to brother, as it were.
That's right.
I believe what we were talking about was how many paths there are to getting to a point of deciding to be a student, to just always be willing to learn and not necessarily be judgmental of the people you're learning from. The reason I point that out is because I learned to not be judgmental from judgmental people. I learned to be a student from people who refuse to learn. I think that's kind of powerful because it kind of shows that there's a path to knowledge amidst what feels like no knowledge at all, or a restriction of knowledge. But yeah.
That's deep what you said, because the way that you learned that is not a regular way. You know what I mean? You learned that through a position that was an average person would be like, there's no lesson in this. It's just only one way, But deciding to be a student in life is deep, and it's important because as a student, you're a forever learner, a continuous learner. And you don't just learn one way. You learn from multiple ways and multiple situations that ultimately shape your reality. A part of what we were talking about is, you said that you were talking about the story of the farmer, and how whenever a situation popped up, his always response was maybe
that was good.
Yeah.
Maybe that was bad. It's difficult to be sure.
Right.
Because of the unforeseen outcomes of that one blessing or curse, or however you want to put it, however you want to decide you feel about it. I mean, at this point, it's a common story, but I think that story is something that, if you look at it for what it is, it can help you feel a lot better about things that just happen, things that are seemingly in nobody's control or in God's control, or however it is you want to see it. It can make you feel more comfortable and allow you to move forward with your everyday things that you want to do. Because, if we're all sitting here thinking and that's all we do, it leads to problem after problem after problem. I mean, there's no problem with thinking, but if you don't match that with doing, if you become lost in your thoughts, it can lead to inaction.
Right.
I feel like I've been doing that my whole life. And now that I'm a father and I have responsibilities to my child and my wife and myself to keep moving forward and show them that that's what I hope from them. I hope they can keep moving forward. I can't get lost in my thought no more.
That's right.
I gotta have my thoughts throughout my day. I gotta keep pushing, And I feel like that philosophy or that ideology about not just deciding if something is good or bad objectively immediately upon singing it, I feel like that helps. It helps me keep going. It helps me keep my eye on the ball.
Absolutely. And something that's so important for I believe every man, the two attributes that every man should have for me is number one is patience. Patience is key. You can't grow a seed overnight. You won't grow from a boy to a man overnight. It happens over time. Situations that play out in your life, sometimes it takes patience for you to understand it. Because as soon as something happens, you may feel like you got to figure it all out at that very moment, but it wasn't meant for you to figure out at that very moment. It was meant for some time for it to weigh on your thoughts for you to realize, oh, okay, now I see why things happen the way they happen.
Right.
And now I know how to move forward. You know what I mean? But patience is definitely a virtue, but also the ability to take action. Because many people allow patience to hinder their action. Being patient and waiting on something is two different things.
Most definitely.
Being patient and waiting on something is two different things. But don't mix your waiting on something with patience, because the time is going to tick and the opportunity is going to fade away.
Right.
You have to be able to take immediate action, because when God gives you clarity, clarity must meet action. Because if it doesn't, it's just going to fade away. When God gives you clarity about something, you must immediately take action.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to be in the same cycle. God, show me a sign. What do I do? He'll show you. And if it's not the right time for you, you're not going to take action. A week go by, a month go by, and you're going to ask the same thing. God, I need a sign. Come on. But what you're really asking him for is action. But he's not going to do the action for you. If you say you want to build a house, God will give you a tree. He'll give you an axe, but he's not going to swing that blade for you. If you say you want to bake you a cake, God going to give you the eggs. He's going to give you all the ingredients, but he's not going to bake the cake for you. He's going to give you everything you need to do it. He's just not going to do it.
You got to do it.
You have to be the one to take initiative. So be patient with what it is you need to do, but as soon as you have that clarity, have action. Take action. Take initiative, you know?
I like that.
Absolutely. But I feel like it's so important, because what I say to you, audience, what I say to you, my brother, I say to myself. Like when we first started this, I ain't no bigger than nobody, but I'm just a person who've learned from my mistakes, from my wins and my losses. And my perspective of what I've won and what I've lost is helping me move forward in my life. There's something else you talked about, that now that you're a father, you have to keep moving forward. A wise man, Dr. Martin Luther King, once said, he said, if you can't run, then you better walk. If you can't walk, then you better crawl. But by all means, keep moving forward, one step at a time. But don't stand still, because when you stand still, just like in traffic, it's going to be a lot of cars piled up behind you. It's a lot of accidents that can happen. It's a lot of things that can go wrong when you stand still.
When you stand still in a world that is always moving, both literally and figuratively, and you allow yourself to stagnate in that way, it doesn't matter what opportunities arise and fall, because you're not ready to move. When you play sports, you need to be, before the play happens, you need to be in the athletic position. Knees bent, ready to move.
That's right.
And if you're not there, when the play happens, you're one step behind. But who was ready when that opportunity arises?
That's right.
Most times, they're going to get there before you.
But you got to stay ready. You have to.
It's like that thing, every time you say stay ready, it reminds me of this, it's like sound bite. He's like, when they told me to get ready, I told them I don't need to get ready because I was already ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a silly thing that I heard somewhere. Can't remember where I heard it. Probably butchered it.
Now, when we break down this concept of staying ready, when we break down and go to the deeper research of that, staying ready is an everyday thing. Rick Ross said, every day I'm hustling. I took that personal. Because if you hustling every single day, and your hustling can be whatever it is, but if you're hustling every single day, you're hustling towards something, you're working towards something.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting ready for the opportunity, where you're preparing yourself for the opportunity that you want. So the concept of staying ready is the concept of doing something every single day, staying consistent.
Mm-hmm. For me, that means waking up and being in an adaptive mood, being ready for what comes at me. Because I've been thinking about getting through this school, getting what I need to move forward in my life. But I can't be in the truck all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I can't be in the truck all the time. I've been thinking about all of my woodworking projects that I need to get to when I get home. But I can't be in the shop all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So as a man, I must be adaptive at this point in my life. I wake up and my job is to put fuel in my body so that I can get ready for my day.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to get up out the house quietly so I don't wake my daughter up and mess up my wife's day. My job is to get to school on time. And these are simple things. And once those simple tasks are complete, each one of them, things start to fall into place. But the more you miss out on those simple tasks and you're living in this moment over here, you miss out on doing the task in front of you that is what's important right now.
That's right.
You know, if I'm dwelling on those projects that I need to do when I get home, and by all means, that is my main focus. My main focus with all of this stuff that I am doing is to provide a better living and provide stability for my family. But if I'm physically in the truck and I'm mentally in the shop, I'm not going to get my license. If I don't get my license, I can't start making real money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't start making real money, like dominoes, my whole plan falls apart.
That's right.
So they tell you to live in the moment like you can do anything else, because truthfully you can't. But you can in some way be completely distracted out of the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's real. That's deep. Your present is so important, because like you said, man, that is, a lot of people are here. You might be talking to them, but they mind might be 100 miles away, 1,000 miles away. You might be driving, but you're thinking of what happened yesterday. It's called the present for a reason. This is your gift. But you must equip yourself in that present moment. A part of what I was talking about, of staying ready, you must equip yourself. Life is about, to me, it's about preparation. Preparing yourself for what is to come. But in your preparation, you're fully present. But in your preparation, you're preparing yourself for what's to come in your life.